It's a pleasure to welcome you. My name is Ana María de Samper. I am the Director of Master's and Specialization Programs in the Faculty of Education at Universidad de La Sabana. I'm joined here by our colleague, Yady González, who will be our speaker tonight. She is also a teacher here at the university, and Laura Bobadilla, who is our coordinator of promotion at the university. So we are going to start. Tonight's talk will have two parts. I'm going to explain a little bit about our English language teaching program, and then we will go on to our conference about COIL courses, which I'm sure you'll find very, very interesting and a possible option for you to increase your students' exposure to other languages through exchanges with other schools, other universities, from her experience as also our coordinator of internationalization here in the faculty. So I'd like to tell you a little bit about our program. Our program has existed for quite a long time, but it has recently changed. And so we wanted to let you know what has happened here at the our program in English language teaching. So our master's program, it has now changed its name. It's now the Master's in Bilingual and Multicultural Education. And one of the things that we would like to focus on here is that it's not just for English teachers or teachers who teach subjects in English. Other people who are involved in different kinds of bilingualism and multicultural projects would also benefit from this master's program. It is a totally online program. And let me share this audio with you. Could you let me know if you are
En un mundo
hearing
cada
it?
vez más globalizado e interconectado, el dominio del inglés se ha convertido en una herramienta fundamental para el éxito personal y profesional. Colombia, como nación inmersa en este dinámico panorama, no es ajena a esta realidad. Es por ello que nos complace presentarles la Maestría en Educación Bilingüe y Multicultural, que recientemente ha recibido la acreditación de alta calidad. Es un programa de vanguardia, diseñado para formar educadores bilingües altamente calificados, capaces de responder a las necesidades del contexto colombiano e internacional actual. Sabemos que dominar el inglés abre las puertas a un sinfín de posibilidades como acceso a una educación de calidad, mejores oportunidades laborales, mayor competitividad en el mercado global y conectarse con el mundo. Nuestro programa te permitirá desarrollar las competencias necesarias para enseñar inglés como lengua extranjera de manera efectiva. Adquirir conocimientos profundos sobre la lingüística, la pedagogía y la didáctica del inglés. Comprender las dimensiones interculturales del proceso educativo bilingüe. Diseñar e implementar metodologías innovadoras para la enseñanza del inglés. Desarrollar habilidades investigativas para contribuir al avance del conocimiento en el campo de la educación bilingüe. Conviértete en un agente de cambio en la educación colombiana. La Maestría en Educación Bilingüe y Multicultural te brinda la oportunidad de convertirte en un educador bilingüe de alto impacto, capaz de formar ciudadanos competentes y preparados para afrontar los retos del siglo XXI. En un mundo cada vez más global.
Okay, so we're going to quickly go over what the program is about. It's a 2-year program, 44 credits. We open every semester, and as you heard in the audio, it has recently received accreditation, high quality accreditation from our Ministry of Education. Some facts about this program: it's been on the market for 12 years. We have a great deal of experience in teaching teachers how to teach English. It is, we've worked hard doing a self-assessment on making sure that its characteristics respond to the needs and the characteristics of society and English language teaching in a global perspective. What we've done and what was recognized by our peers during the accreditation visit is that we don't just have an instrumental view of the study and analysis of language, which still tends to be very, very common in many of our programs. We've tried to recognize and safeguard cultural diversity and really focus on not just being bilingual, but recognizing that in this very connected world, we will be exposed to many different languages and many different cultures, and that it's important for us as teachers to recognize that in the context where we teach. The program is 100% in English. We have a very interesting agreement with the University of Sydney that teaches 2 of our courses. Therefore, anybody who takes the program will have a certificate from the very prestigious Center for English Language Teaching at the University of Sydney for both of these courses, along with their master's diploma. And we have an interesting activity more or less once a year, which we call residential sessions. It's a time when the students actually come to the campus. If possible, we give the dates ahead of time so that you are aware when we will be having that and can ask for the corresponding permissions. And so we have a space here at the campus where you can meet people from other cohorts, your teachers face-to-face, and we often bring guest speakers to work during those 2 or 3 days during a weekend that we do our residential sessions. This is the curriculum. We have 4 areas. One is sort of a general teaching and learning about bilingual and multicultural education. We have electives, which may be electives that belong to the entire Faculty of Education, or these specific ones for our English teachers, teaching English to young learners, academic writing, and intercultural education, which is in itself a COIL course, as Professor González will be telling you. And we also have teaching content in a second language. There is specific learning, the 2 courses with Sydney University, the University of Sydney, English Language Teacher Training and English for Academic Purposes. And we have integrated into the new program some more administrative aspects of bilingual education, such as language policy and planning and educational leadership and management. We also have teaching content in a second language and educational technology for language learning. We realize that all teaching, but especially language teaching, can be supported very, very well through the use of technology. And we have our research component. Every student will work on a research project that starts at the beginning of the program and goes through each one of the semesters so that they will finish with their project in 4th semester. This is the way the semesters look. Semester 1 has Research 1, one of the Sydney courses, Reflective Teaching and Learning, and Educational Technology for Language Learning. Semester 2 has the second option with the University of Sydney, Language Policy and Planning, Studies in Bilingual Education, and Research 2. Semester 3 has Teaching Content in a Second Language, Research 3, Educational Leadership and Management, and an elective. And Semester 4 is Research 4, the option 3, which is another elective, and literacy in multilingual and multicultural contexts. So as you can see, it's a very comprehensive program that looks at the bilingual phenomenon of teaching, not just in schools, not just in universities, even in other types of environments where this is important, and but looking at it from a very, very broad perspective so that the research project can really try to address specific issues that each teacher is interested in. So that our graduates, our alumni, can be, of course, English teachers or teachers of subjects in English. We have had science teachers, math teachers, teachers who teach several subjects, primary, preschool. But you can also be a teacher trainer, a consultant in different kinds of programs. You can coordinate language centers or resource centers for language learning. You can design curriculum and microcurricula of English in different educational institutions. And we love to see our graduates also working on different policies for bilingualism in the country. So if any of you are interested, we would be more than happy to give you information. And perhaps, I'm not sure, Laura, ¿tú vas a poner un formulario o algo en caso de que tuvieran algún interés que los contactemos? We might have a little problem there with the audio. So having said this, I'd like to introduce Professor Yady González. We have worked together for quite some time. She has worked at the university, both in the Center for Languages and now in the Faculty of Education. And she is, as I said, our coordinator for internationalization. So she has not only coordinated efforts to create COIL programs and support them, but she has also taught them in different contexts. So Yady, thank you so much for being with us tonight.
Thank you, Ana Maria. Thank you very much for this invitation, and thank you everybody who is here attending this webinar. So I'm going to share my presentation. I guess you are you're able to see it now.
Yes.
And as Ana Maria was saying, well, my name is Yady González. I am an ESL teacher. That is my educational background. And I'm also like teacher of the Faculty of Education, professor of the Faculty of Education. I work in the early childhood education program, teaching English, like teaching courses and like the way how we can teach English to young learners. That's like what I do in the program. And I am also the head of the internships and alumni of the Faculty of Education and the International Relations Coordinator as well. And as part of this strategies that we do for internationalization, we have this one, COIL, as one of the important or biggest strategies to really provide our students with different skills, intercultural skills. So our webinar today is called Global Classrooms, COIL and Multicultural Learning for a Changing World. And the very first thing that I would like to start with is by telling you that COIL stands for Collaborative Online International Learning. Basically, that's what it is, a COIL course. It's a collaborative online international learning. Here at La Sabana University, we promote the implementation of innovative methodologies for the development of international competences, because we understand that students need to interact in global and multicultural environments. So professors are constantly encouraged to take advantage of technologies and university support to connect students with international students through activities and projects that are associated with the subjects that the teachers teach. So that's why in this program, you saw in the study plan that there is a class, there is a subject that is called academic rating, and it has a COIL. It is itself a COIL course, a COIL class. It includes all these elements of the COIL class. Just to let you know a little bit about, historical background, COIL is a teaching learning methodology that was created by the State University of New York, SUNY, in 2004. This methodology existed since 2004, but it was because of the pandemic that everybody turned to look at it and see like how it really works, especially in the offices of international affairs and internationalization. We turned to this strategy to understand this better, because during pandemic we couldn't have any face-to-face mobilities. So the way to continue encouraging all these exchange experiences for the students was online. And COIL was like the best strategy to see to continue improving or encouraging experiences and exchange experiences in students. COIL consists of collaboration between professors from 2 or more countries. It could be even 2 or more professors from 2 or more regions of the same country, not necessarily international. It can be also teachers or professors that are in different or different regions of the same country. These teachers or these COIL courses are part of the framework of the courses that they have as formal curriculum, and this COIL course aims at achieving jointly defined objectives that generate online learning experiences for the students. Students work remotely, synchronously or asynchronously in inter-institutional teams. Because it is virtual collaboration, it is a low-cost alternative for developing intercultural competencies in students, and it also creates access to internationalization opportunities to a greater number of students. This is because we all know that having these exchange programs or exchange experiences, traveling abroad, it's very expensive, and not all of the students are able or have access to do this. So COIL is a way to continue encouraging all these experiences or these abilities or skills that students develop when they have or when they do an exchange program. A COIL course can take between 4 to 8 weeks and can be about any topic the professors decide or the teachers that are involved in the course decide. So in other words, basically what we do in a COIL course is that there are 2 teachers or 3 teachers who have a class, and they have students in those classes. And what they do together, or what they do is, like, first of all, the teachers get together, they plan a certain project that is a syllabus or some classes or like the kind of activities they want their students to work on. And then we organize the students in every one of the classes to work in teams. So maybe we can have some teams of 4 people or 5 people. So 2 would be from one class, from one teacher from one country, and the other 2 would be from another class from the other country or the other place. And this would be one team. And those students have to work, they have to find the way to work online because they're in different places in different countries, taking into account all the problems or all the challenges that this implies. So if they're, for example, working in countries that have different times, or if they have to do it in different languages, for example, in English, those are skills that or challenges that they have to face and that they have to develop, and that at the end they have to work together to do a product, to do an assignment that the teachers, like the project, the COIL project, ask them, and then they present or they upload this product in a specific platform. So as you notice, just by organizing and developing those COIL classes, it requires a lot of abilities. The students and the professors as well, but especially the students are going to face when they go to the professional world or when they go out into the real world. And it will really enhance and strengthen those abilities while they are still, part of us here in the university or in our programs. That is also the way, or a very good way, to enhance multicultural learning, because when you're working in an international team, you do have to understand how the other person works, and you have to get to negotiation or agreements. You have to agree with the other person and get into some ideas, because in the end you have to produce something that is going to be evaluated. That's a very important part. And also the teachers, both the teachers and the professors, they decide on how the evaluation will be carried out, what are the tasks that they are going to do, how they are going to present those tasks. Sometimes can be a written paper, some other times can be an audio, sometimes can be a video with all the members of the group participating in that production. So it's like the whole strategy, the whole class, the whole program, it enhances a lot of abilities, and it encourages students to really get together to understand other people different from their culture. Central to COIL pedagogy is the fact that faculty members in 2 or more countries collaborate to design a syllabus and co-teach a course or a module, and the students in each class must work together online to complete those assignments. And they must upload those tasks to a platform. So we really need not only abilities to work in a team, but also abilities, digital abilities, the skills that have to do with, the digital area. Both the faculty and the students involved in a COIL course are mutually dependent. The COIL method can apply to courses in any academic discipline. Actually, in fact, connected classroom are very often completely different courses, like sometimes are different disciplines, even though the teachers jointly develop the syllabus for the COIL portion of a course. COIL is also known as globally networked learning, virtual mobility, telecollaboration. The term global collaborative online learning combines the 4 dimensions of real virtual mobility. It is a collaborative exercise of teachers and students. It makes use of technology and interaction. It has international dimensions or abilities or competences, and it is integrated into the learning process of the students. What are the main characteristics of a COIL class? It involves international collaboration with people from different backgrounds and cultures to work together on specific activities or projects. So this by itself is a challenge because they have to be able to do it in the end. They have to find a way to be able to work with people that have different backgrounds, different cultures, and sometimes even different fields of study. Like they not necessarily have to be from the same discipline or the same study program. They can have, we can create COIL classes or COIL courses with completely different disciplines. Students from both institutions interact each other either synchronously or asynchronously, and the course need to have a platform to upload their work. The activity should be motivated by internationalized learning outcomes that seek to develop global perspectives of the discipline and strengthen students' intercultural competences. It should have a reflective component that helps students think critically about such interactions in their personal learning. Classes can be fully online or offered in a hybrid format with traditional face-to-face sessions at both institutions, while collaboration among students takes place online because that is where they can actually meet. Since they are in different places, they cannot meet face-to-face. The whole interaction of the students takes place online. And projects or the projects that are developed on the COIL classes, on the COIL courses, can range from 1 to 2 hour interactions per week. It is recommended that the COIL course lasts a minimum of 4 weeks for a more meaningful students' experiences. But as I said before, it goes from 4 to 8 weeks. Now, what is not a COIL is, for example, COIL is not a replacement for study abroad. It's a different way to encourage the intercultural competences, but that is not the same as when a person goes abroad to do an exchange program. This is like different. As well, COIL is not a MOOC. MOOC is a massive open online course or online courses. This is not an online course because it has some specific characteristics. It is not a curriculum. It is not teleconferencing. If somebody wants to give a teleconference, that's not necessarily a COIL course. It is not a technology platform, and it is not a software. What is COIL? It's like COIL is more team teaching across 2 or more cultures using online communication. COIL is also is also structured so that the success of the students in each class depends upon the others members of the group. COIL is also customized to fit the mission, culture, and learning outcomes of each institution, and it is applicable to any discipline. So by now, I would like to show you a video from the Florida International University where they explain this, like what a COIL course is. Let me just share the video. It's very short, and they explain this in a very easy way for all of us to understand. And the video, wait a moment, let me share the video. The video is here. This one is the video.
Imagine trying to teach a person to swim.
You're listening, right? Okay.
Without water. Well, the same holds true for global learning. If we want our students to gain the knowledge and skills of global citizenship, they need opportunities to work on shared challenges with people who are different from them, in our classrooms, our communities, around the world, and online. COIL, Collaborative Online International Learning, is a powerful form of global learning for both teachers and their students. With COIL, teachers in different institutions, countries, and cultures partner to design experiences that will challenge their students to connect their diverse knowledge and perspectives across borders of time, place, language, and discipline. COIL is an accessible form of global learning because it's often embedded within existing face-to-face, hybrid, or fully online courses. COIL collaborations can involve courses in the same discipline, such as students comparing different marine conservation practices across the world, or in complementary disciplines, such as architecture and anthropology students teaming up to create more culturally responsive building designs. COIL experiences usually last from 4 to 8 weeks, and they involve 3 main components. Icebreaker activities that help students get to know and trust each other. A collaborative task that demands diverse contributions from every person participating. And reflection activities that help students transform their COIL experiences into new ways of thinking about themselves, others, and the world around them. Sure, COIL uses technology to connect people and their ideas, and it often involves voice and video conferencing. But you don't have to be super tech savvy to communicate and collaborate. Great COIL experiences can involve low bandwidth, asynchronous exchanges using nothing but a smartphone. COIL faculty and students thrive when they're supported by a team of international education leaders, instructional technologists, and educational developers. And COIL is a critical component of robust, resilient international partnerships. COIL is powerful on its own, but when it connects faculty and students to other opportunities to engage with the world's knowledge network, such as language learning and intercultural dialogues, and teaching, research, study, service, and internships abroad, COIL maximizes its potential to enable global learning for all.
Okay, so this video is like a very nice way to summarize all of this that I was explaining you about. So I will just would like to continue with the last part of this webinar by telling you some of the benefits that the students have when they participate in these COIL classes, these COIL courses, and some benefits for the teachers themselves as well. So some of the benefits of these COIL classes, we have that it increases the access to international learning experiences for students who are unable to travel. And this is like one of the most greatest benefits, because the students have a chance to really interact with another partner, another friend, another peer, another student of the same age, that they have the same, worries of the world, to continue to try to agree on something and to complete one task. But on the way to complete the task, they have to talk about many things. So it's like they really have an experience of interacting with an international student and see how it goes, what happens in that situation, what things they need to know, and how they can be successful in that situation. It also, another benefit is that it strengthens their interpersonal skills and adaptability to contexts different from their own. And this is something very difficult. And many people, not only our students here in Colombia, find this difficult. We also see that students in other parts of the world, they also find that this aspect complicated and difficult, because they don't imagine that other people in other countries can have different ideas, or can, react or think differently from what they think in their own culture. So this is like one of the greatest benefits as well. It also increases their interest and opportunities for international mobility experiences. And it also strengthens their ability to work in multicultural teams. So this ability, or this skills to work in multicultural teams, includes that they have to be aware of things like, for example, following rules. How flexible or rigid is people's approach to rules? If they agree on certain rules, they have to see how the members of a team, the international members of a team, are flexible or rigid to the rules that they themselves proposed and organized. Another aspect of this ability to work in multicultural teams is like, is it a formal or informal relationship? Is it formal or informal behavior expected in these meetings, or in this kind of, when they assign work to every member of the group? Is like, how is this relationship going to be like? What is this behavior expected in these meetings and in these teams? Another aspect is time management. How do different cultures approach to timekeeping, punctuality? How, like for some cultures, how it is important to be, like, the agreements that they have on the time, how important it is for them. Or for some other cultures, they're like, yeah, we agreed on something, but it is okay if we don't, like, if we don't do our things or our meetings, or we don't start, or if we don't get ready for the meeting on the time that we agreed on. So this is something very interesting, because it is really different really different for all cultures in different places in the world. Communication is one of the biggest skills that students develop, because they have to see how different cultures communicate, not only how they communicate in a different language, because sometimes if we are having groups of students that don't speak the same language, we use English as the language to communicate. But sometimes we have students with the same language, like the same native language, they speak the same native language, and even in those situations, they communicate things in different ways. So that's like, communication is something that they really learn to do and improve, and like have this idea of how multicultural teams work, and what is appropriate to say and what is not appropriate to say. Also, these abilities of negotiation and agreements and decision making. This is like a great experience, a real life experience, where they have to implement or develop or improve or continue improving in these skills when they work with multicultural teams. Now, the same abilities to work in multicultural teams for students are also, those are benefits. The same multicultural skills happen to the teachers, to the professors. We also have, like, the professors also have to work on these things. And they also benefit from these experiences because they improve in these abilities as well, those skills as well. Besides those benefits that I mentioned before, for teachers, for example, these experiences enriches their subjects and all the topics that they teach. It also strengthens the teacher's international relationship with peers or connection or connect with new peers, new colleagues. It also strengthens the international intercultural competences and his or her relational skills, adaptability, and flexibility. Teachers also have to adapt, be flexible, communicate in a very good way. And it also strengthens digital competence. Definitely digital competence is one of the things that you need here. And it enhances international research and publication possibilities, because after doing all these experiences, there are many possibilities to do some research and publications on this. Now, one of the questions that many people ask is about, well, what about the topics? No, what are like the topics we can do or we can work on? And one of the most typical questions is like, is it necessary to share the same topics to develop COIL? And the answer is no. As you saw in the video, we can have some, students from engineering, students from architecture, or students from music and students from law working together, because what really matters is the kind of assignment that they have to do together. That's what really matters. So COIL projects can be formulated from any discipline. Interdisciplinarity is privileged to the extent that it is complementary for those who integrate the work teams. Many times it happens that the COIL classes are complement to the subjects that they are taking in, like with the teacher in the class. These other projects that they are doing in the COIL classes complement what they are studying or they are seeing or taken in the class. This COIL methodology also focuses on the richness of the recognition of cultures integrated in the project. The process is enriched by integrated groups with different characteristics in terms of the knowledge they have from their different disciplines, and encourage all the students that work or participate in these COIL classes to apply their knowledge in other areas and forces them to explain their work in their field of study to those who do not share the same educational background. And as in the video we saw, I just would like to say that there are three important components for the COIL classes. It's like, first, there must be some icebreaker activities, so the students that are in the teams can get together, can meet themselves, and can get to know each other a little bit better, and then they can start working on like the different stacks, which is the interaction, like the activities where they have to interact. And then there are some activities where they reflect upon what did I learn, not only about the topic itself that we develop, but about the experience itself. It's like how difficult, how nice, or what I learned from my partners from other countries, from other cultures. So I think basically this is what I wanted to share with you so far. And thank you very much for this time, for this, for your attention. And I don't know if there are some questions, somebody would like to ask anything, or if you would like to ask any questions about the program itself, our new master's degree program. You can ask questions if you want in Spanish, don't worry.
Thank you so much, Yady, for your very, very interesting presentation. We hope that many teachers here may try to experiment with some kind of exchange. It can start being something very, very small, right? And then you can make it much bigger depending on your experience. So thank you so much. Yes, any questions, comments that anybody would like to make? Thank you, Anna. We're glad you liked this presentation. And we'd like to invite you to our next one. We will have 2 more. So hopefully you can join us again at the same time next week. Next week, we will be talking more about leadership in bilingual programs. We will have another guest speaker at the same time on Wednesday. And finally, on December 11th, we will have another one on making thinking visible in the English language classroom. And so we hope to see you there. If you would like to attend, you will receive the link just like today so that you can join. Yes, financial programs or support for the master's program. Yes, definitely. Thank you, Juan Manuel. Laura, ¿quisieras presentar un poquito de las alternativas de financiación?
Claro que sí, Anita. Voy a buscar aquí la grados. ¿Me confirman, por favor, si ya están viendo la pantalla?
Sí, señora.
Gracias. Entonces, para posgrados manejamos 3 tipos de financiación: financiación directa con la universidad, financiación con el ICETEX y financiación con entidades bancarias. Nosotros la que normalmente recomendamos es financiación directa con la universidad, en la que manejamos 3 tipos de créditos: 2 líneas a corto plazo y una línea a mediano plazo. Dentro de las líneas a corto plazo tenemos el crédito No Te Detengas especial, en el que si el estudiante paga mínimo el 50% del valor de la matrícula antes de iniciar las clases, podrá diferir el valor restante a 5 meses sin intereses. Para el crédito No Te Detengas tradicional, la universidad cubre hasta el 100% del valor de la matrícula. Se divide en hasta 6 meses, dependemos pues de la fecha en la que se inicie la solicitud del crédito, y la tasa de interés es del 0,8% mensual. Y ya la línea de crédito mediano plazo funciona muy similar a cómo funciona la del ICETEX. En este caso, la universidad les cubre hasta el 100% del valor de la matrícula, el estudiante paga el 50% en época de estudios y el otro 50% una vez haya terminado materias. Tiene el mismo tiempo de financiación que tuvo el crédito para poderlo pagar. En este caso, por ejemplo, la maestría, que tiene una duración de 4 semestres, tendría después otros 4 semestres para pagar el 50% restante. La tasa de interés es del 1,24%. La ventaja de hacer financiación directa con la universidad es que los estudiantes pueden ser sus propios codeudores, las cuotas son mensuales fijas, no se hace cobro de estudio y ya, si digamos quieren una información más específica o una especie de simulador, podemos, ya me pueden contactar y hacemos la simulación específica.
Lau, gracias. ¿Y posibilidades de becas?
Sí, señora, en este momento estamos manejando la beca Decido Educar, que cubre desde el 10 hasta el 30% del valor de la matrícula. El único requisito que tenemos para esta beca es que en el pregrado, cualquier pregrado de cualquier universidad, hayan tenido un promedio igual o superior a 4. Para esto pedimos el certificado de notas. El comité recibe la postulación y decide qué porcentaje de beca se otorga entre el 10 hasta el 30%.
Gracias, Lau. Are there any
Gracias.
other questions?
Buenas noches, yo quisiera hacer una pregunta.
Sí, claro. Jacqueline, bienvenida.
Gracias. Quisiera saber cuáles son los requisitos para poder tomar la maestría. Gracias.
Lau, ¿quieres darle o...?
Si quieres, pues yo digo, Dentro de los requisitos de la maestría que tenemos es pues que que cuenten con un título de pregrado, que cuenten con un nivel de inglés mínimo de B2. Como lo comentaba Ana María, las clases son 100% en inglés, por lo tanto, digamos que pues deben contar con las habilidades para poder cursar la maestría. Hacemos el proceso de admisión en el que presentan la entrevista con nuestra directora, que es Ana María, y les pedimos un ensayo en el que responden una pregunta específica y ya.
Perfecto, muchas gracias.
Con mucho gusto.
Yady, there's a question in the chat, which I think might be for you. How could we find other teachers interested in COIL implementation?
Yeah, thank you, Anita. Yes, Dana, thank you very much for this question. This is a very important question because that is basically the first step that you have to do is like to find somebody else who would like to do this kind of COIL implementations. Here at La Sabana University, the way to do it is by the Office of International Affairs. So since we have a coordinator of international relations, international affairs in every faculty, this person is the one in charge of finding you the pair, the colleague that you need. We do it here at La Sabana that way. It's like we do with all the different network that we have and the different agreements that we have and the different partnerships that we have. We ask the other universities, like, there is a person interested in doing a COIL in this and this and this characteristics in this topics. So who would like to do it? And then in the other universities, they tell us, oh, there is there is a teacher who is interested in doing a COIL similar or kind of with the characteristics that you mentioned, and we do the match. But this kind of activities, this COIL implementations, can also be done not only at university level, it can also be done at school level. It's just that you need to implement other strategies with the students at school levels, like high school, because they need more guidance, right? But it can be done also at this school levels. It's just that it would be the same, like schools. Some schools belong to different, you know, networks or different associations, and within the associations, they can say, who is interested in developing this kind of, project, and then they will ask different teachers, and then somebody will say, oops, I would like to do that, and then this is how we match the teachers. Is that okay, Dana?
I think I would also recommend thinking of school associations or schools that perhaps your school has relationships with, somebody close by initially, and to start something. And you may find interesting contacts in that way to start the process. And once you start it, then you will probably be connected with other people as well.
That's right.
No, you're more than welcome. Okay, well, thank you so much for attending tonight. Hopefully we'll see you next week as well for our next webinar. And if we can help you in any way, please feel free to contact us at the university, and have a great evening, everyone.
Thank you very much. Have a
Thank
great
you,
evening,
Yady.
everyone. Goodbye, everyone.